What's up, y'all? It's your girl Stacy the Intuitive, back with my morning drive, and I wanted to share a message with you guys today. Sorry if I'm looking at the road a little bit, but I kind of like doing these driving messages. So guys, something that's been coming through for me as I find myself stepping into this next phase of my life, and a lot of you might find yourself stepping into this phase where the things that you've been wanting to manifest, the things you've been calling in, the things that resonate with your authenticity, your passions, and things like that, as those things start to unfold, a different energy is being required of you. Different energies are coming in. You might find yourself having contrasting energies coming through, energies that bring a little bit of like mismatch or discord because they are so resoundingly different from one another, and it's calling you to make certain choices. And we've been pounding in this message about how important it is to be consciously aware about your choices. So I really want to share here at this space that what is going to be required of you as you step into your passions, your authenticity, and things like that is the energy of, choosing yourself, creating space for yourself, creating space for the energy that is going to drive your life forward. A lot of the time we think about the product of all of our hard work and dedication, right? We think about the fact that we'll have the job, we'll have like the career, we'll have the true love, and we'll have the friendships or whatever. But you know what? The thing that's driving all of that energy through and through is the energy that resides within you, okay? The energy that you are putting forth in order to withstand or sustain that energy in your life. And it is the energy of you, right? So that means that creating intentional space for your energy to come through, your energy to be in a container, is going to be very important. This is coming through for me as I'm realizing, in this stage where I was putting in a lot of the work that's required of this path that I am, finding myself truly stepping into and starting to embody. In the path of undergoing the work, I found myself in environments that would fill up the space while I wasn't ready, that would fill up the space while I worked towards my goals or while I unrooted beliefs and things like that. And that's okay. And that's where this discontent and boredom energy can come from. I talked about this in a recent reading, and you should check it out. I think it's my most recent reading on here and on YouTube. And essentially the message there was that as you are arriving to your newfound place, there's this energy of discontent and boredom that can come as you are just now kind of pulling up to your promised land, so to speak, like your present moment, bigger picture being actualized. And what I'm finding is that discontent and boredom can come from the spaces that you're in that no longer align, because they did align when they were meant to just fill up space, right? When they were just space fillers, when they were things that you did in your period of waiting, in your period of gestating, of patience, right? And a radical shift will be required of you at this time in order to really create a safe space, a container for the energy that you are cultivating in your life. For me, for example, like the life that I'm building right now, it requires a different level of health. It requires a different level of self-care. It requires a different level of solitude specifically. Whereas in this past phase, I found myself in very social environments. I was going out, I was hanging out with people, I was doing things, and I don't mind that. But this space right now is requiring that I say no to those social events. It's requiring that I create space where, the true version of me is being invited. And that's what I want to offer here. You need to make sure that you are placing your energy in spaces that the energy that you are trying to create in your life, the version of you that you are trying to create in your life, is being consistently invited, right? And that's a very important message. A lot of the times when we are not yet embodying the energy of who we wish to be, we will find ourselves in spaces that we are able to compartmentalize a bit. And we're not going to blame it on these spaces, because ultimately it comes down to the self. But what I have found is that it does help if you're in a supportive environment. You can go and be yourself in any environment, but if the environment itself does not necessarily support that, is it really going to be fulfilling? Is it going to be adding to you, or is it going to take away from you? We're reaching a stage where the environments that you might used to find yourself in, they are proving to be spaces that don't necessarily add to you. And as you step into this space of fullness, of wholeness, you want to be in spaces that add to you, because you'll find that when you're in spaces that resonate with this authenticity, with this true self, that the space is so full of you, right? If your energy is a space of wholeness, continuous expansion, then the spaces that you go into should reflect that. They shouldn't constrict, and they shouldn't create any type of stagnancy, right? Where, I mean, I don't want to like say that too harshly, because I do also acknowledge the importance in the mundane. But even so, like, the mundane that is being called to me right now is not to say that I'm not, like, it's not an energy of like doing anything. It's really just solitude, right? It's really just me creating space for myself and my own energy, being able to indulge my own energy, and that's what's feeling good to me. But what I'm getting at here is that you need to be prioritizing spaces that prioritize that energy of you. And I'm really just wanting to emphasize that here, because I don't want to say that the spaces that you weren't in weren't you, but more so that they were a less so embodied version of you, a less so embodied version of you, a less so let me try to figure out what word wants to come through here. A less so fulfilled or whole and complete version of you. Because the way that you get to your dreams and your aspirations and things is by reaching this place of wholeness, guys. That is kind of what catalyzes this moment of like finally stepping in. When you finally get to this place of wholeness where you are so full from within that it pours over into all of your external environments. And now you want to be able to pour that self into everywhere you go, which just allows this growth and growth and growth. But some places that you'll pour yourself into might take a little bit more from you than they are receiving from you, right? Because when you allow environments to receive from you in this true and authentic way, they naturally give back to you because they are fulfilling you in the same way. I hope that this is making sense, and I hope that this is hitting for some of you guys. But I'm hitting this shift today where my energy is like really calling for a level of solitude, a level of intentionality, a level of containment, right? That is going to really drive this notion home of what I'm wanting. That's really going to drive this sense of wholeness in, this sense of completion and total integration. So I wanted to share that with you guys because I feel like it's very important, and I feel like a lot of us are being called into this space. So don't question yourself too much when you find yourself withdrawing, when you find yourself wanting to feel this sense of comfort from within, when you find yourself not really resonating with the same environments. And don't be too hard on yourself in that you're like, oh my God, why am I coming to this space? Like, everything I do is wrong. There are times where I felt like I was drowning in my external, but now I'm not. Like, the new phase is calling me, and naturally I'm feeling pulled away from certain energies and things. And that's not to say that I can't invite that energy in, but as you make this total shift, right, into this newfound energy, you don't want to find yourself in a space where it's more natural to be outside of yourself than it is to be within yourself. Okay, so I really wanted to share that, and I hope that this is resonating for some of you. I want to get into this more for sure as I break this down, but as I was like starting this morning and kind of like making some decisions for myself, it was really becoming true. But this has always been something that was coming through for me. It's just becoming more true at this phase, and I'm very grateful for it because it's just validating to me where I've come, where I am, and like just how far I've come in general. So I am absolutely ecstatic for this, but it does offer a moment of like acknowledging some goodbyes to spaces that I put myself in that no longer really have the space for me, because I now have the space for me. I now realize where I'm supposed to be. I now realize where my energy wants to thrive. And sometimes that's literally going to be in spaces that literally only include me and maybe like one close confidant and like, you know, family or whatever have you. So I just wanted to share that. I'm kind of like talking now and I'm headed into work, guys. But yes, the energy that is calling you, it wants you to be prepared. It wants your energy to always be in the state that it needs in order to fulfill its highest intention, right? It wants your energy to be there. It wants that to be your set point. And a lot of the spaces that you might find yourself in right now do not reflect that energetic set point. They call you out of that space, right? So we want to make sure that we are putting our energy into spaces that are calling this energy out of us, as opposed to making us put it aside. Because as you actualize your dreams, it is essentially you creating an entire entire life, an entire beingness that is reflective of authenticity, that is reflective of you. Your life will begin to reflect what's within. And so at some point, you're going to have to say goodbye to the things that don't call that out of you as well, right? So I hope this resonates with some of you. I hope this message hits, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.